Hi, I'm Melissa and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're having a beautiful day so far. I'm excited to let you know that I am going to be running a free 30-day low-calorie density weight loss challenge for the month of March 2021. If you are watching this anytime after then, you can follow the 30-day challenge on your own by watching the videos in this series and also visiting the accompanying blog post on lowcaloriedensity.com, which will have recipes, the rules, as well as some helpful printable sheets that you may want to print out and use to guide you through the process for the 30 days. If you've been subscribed to my YouTube channel for a while, you are probably familiar with the fact that I lost over 30 pounds without weighing or measuring portions or counting calories and eating until I'm comfortably full of whole, natural plant foods. And that is what this challenge is going to be. I really want to keep this super simplified and not overcomplicate the process, because I find that that's what leads to overwhelm and that's what leads to confusion and just feeling like it's all too much, and it's just that easy to kind of slip and go back to the junk foods, the processed foods, and the easy foods essentially. So I really want to keep this as simple as possible for you guys. When I announced this on Instagram, one of the first questions I got was, how do I sign up? Where do I give my information? And you actually don't need to give me your email address. There is no signing up involved. Everything that you're going to need to know for this challenge will be in these videos, in this YouTube series, as well as in the description box of the video. So you can go ahead and copy and paste that information, or if you prefer, you can go to the accompanying blog posts of each video, and there will be a lot of information there, as well as printables. So if you want a habit tracker to track the habits that I'm going to be sharing with you, I will also have recipes that you can print out and blank recipe pages. If you want to create your own low calorie density recipes, you can print that out and use those. So hopefully that's helpful for you. And so when I sat down and wrote all of this out and I was creating the structure for this challenge, I had a particular person in mind, and that is someone who really thrives with having structure. Many of the ladies I coach have been saying things like, Melissa, just tell me exactly what to do. I get really overwhelmed, and as soon as I start to go off plan, it's really hard to get myself to be back on plan. And so I want a structure and something that is really, really simple and easy to follow, so that when I wake up, I know exactly what to do. And so that is who I created this for. So if that sounds like you and you've really wanted some step-by-step guidance, then I hope this is going to be helpful for you. Now, I want you to look at the information that I'm going to be providing you with as a framework. You may choose to follow it to a T and enjoy all of the recipes that I provide, and you just want to do exactly what I did to lose the weight, and that suits you and your lifestyle, then by all means, that's fantastic. However, if at any time any of the information that I give just doesn't seem like something that would be helpful for you in your lifestyle, or like something that you would realistically want to do, then by all means, customize this. Just use this as a framework to kind of get you started, and you can feel free to make it your own. In fact, I encourage you to do so. That's why I'm going to be providing some blank recipe sheets. And so by all means, you can feel free to make this your own if that's what feels right for you. Now, I want to keep everything concise. So in this video, I am just going to share the 6 rules of how to follow this 30-day low calorie density weight loss challenge. Be sure that you are subscribed to this YouTube channel and click the notification bell, so that when I release new videos in this series, you're notified and you have that info. Also, if you follow me on Instagram at MelissaAlexandria01, I'll share more info there. And I've created a new Instagram account that is all about low calorie density, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of information there as well. It's at low calorie density. And if you're going to be participating in the challenge, you can share your meals and any inspiring encouragement that you want to share with others on the challenge using the hashtag low calorie density challenge. Again, I'll put all of this information in the description box of this video. Before we get into the 6 rules, if this sounds like something that you want to participate in, then in the comment section of this video, say I'm in. And if you want, you can say where in the world you're participating from. I am in Arizona. And just in case anyone asks this, I will say that no, I am not trying to lose any more weight. I am already at my goal weight range, and I continue to follow a low calorie density whole plant food way of eating. So I'm going to be eating these meals as well, and I will film some what I eat in a day and recipe videos with you on this channel throughout the challenge. All right, rule number 1. Eat whole plant foods that are under 700 calories per pound. Now I'm just referring to my notes, and I took a lot of them because I want to share this information with you and make sure I don't miss anything. I'm going to assume that you have not tried following low calorie density before, so I'm just going to explain all of this information as though this is brand new for you. So you might be thinking, what is calorie density? How do I know how many calories are in a pound of food? So what we're using to differentiate different foods is calories per pound. And since different types of foods have different recommendations for serving sizes, it's hard to compare them evenly. So to keep things even, we are using calories per pound to differentiate the different calorie density of food. On the accompanying blog post to this video, I will put a very simple low calorie density chart that you can reference at any time. If you want, you can save that image on your device so that you can refer to it at any time. But overall, whole natural plant foods are much lower in calories per pound of food than packaged and processed foods, which often contain oils. Now, oil is the highest you can get on the calorie density scale. It's 3,998 calories per pound for olive oil, for example. Most oils are almost 4,000 calories per pound. To give you an example of how much that is compared to certain plant foods, zucchini is 76 calories per pound. Like, that is a big difference. Baked potatoes are approximately 350 calories per pound. So 4,000 calories per pound, even if you're just drizzling a little bit of olive oil here, a little bit of coconut oil here, having some chips that were fried in oil, or whatever it may be, you can see how it would really add up, yet it's not filling up your stomach any more than it would if you were to eat a bowl of rice without oil. In my experience, I notice a big difference with my weight loss when I stopped having oil, foods that were made with oil, and nut butters, which was something that I was having almost daily. I was putting spoonfuls of nut butters in my oatmeal, sometimes in smoothies. I was making vegan desserts with nut butters, and peanut butter is over 2,600 calories per pound. And so if you have never looked at a chart of the different calorie density of foods, then it may be helpful for you to spend some time looking at that, just to give you an idea and a reference point, and help you understand how you're able on a low calorie density diet to eat as much as you need to until you're comfortably full, yet still lose weight. And it's because although you might have a big bowl of sweet potato black bean chili and it looks like a lot of food, the actual calories in a pound of that meal are actually quite low if you were to compare it to something that may have oil and higher fat content. Now, if you've watched many of my videos, you may have heard me reference Dr. Anthony Lim. He has an amazing free webinar on YouTube, which I will link in the description box of this video. The intro in that video is about 7 minutes long, so if you want to just get to the information about low calorie density, you can start the video from 7 minutes onward, and there is just so much fantastic information in that webinar that really goes into the detail about calorie density and specifically how it enables you to lose weight without having to eat less food. So I highly recommend taking some time to watch that. Maybe if you're on the treadmill or the elliptical, or you are cleaning your house, put that webinar on, and it's super, super informative. So we are eating meals that consist of ingredients that are each no higher than 700 calories per pound. I'm going to share a very basic grocery list with you on the website. I will also put it in the description box of the video to get you started, and you'll be able to make quite a few meals by mixing and matching those ingredients. As part of this, it is important not to count calories and not try to limit your portions. So what I mean by that is, if you've been someone who has been dieting for many years, or maybe even many decades, you might be used to feeling like you need to eat small quantities of food in order to lose weight. And it might feel a little bit strange and new to you to have a big plate of food and think, oh, I can really eat as much as I need to until I'm full. You might feel like there's something about that is just gonna take a little while for you to get comfortable with. But it is very, very important that you eat until you're full. The reason being is, if you undereat, especially if you systematically undereat and you try to do this for meal after meal after meal for a few days, eventually you are going to be so hungry that really strong junk food cravings could kick in, and you might think, well, what's wrong with me? Why am I just finding it so hard to stay out of that bag of chips or out of that box of cookies? Like, what's wrong? And nothing's wrong. It's just that you're hungry. And when you're hungry, your brain wants to go for the highest calories per bite it can find. And that is chips, cookies, crackers, cakes, all of these delicious high calorie density foods. And so it's very important that during mealtime you get full. And these plant foods, rice, barley, millet, potatoes, sweet potatoes, fruit, vegetables, beans, these foods are so full of water and fiber, neither of which contain any calories, that usually you will need to eat quite a large portion of them to be full. Also, for these 30 days, I'm going to highly recommend that you do not have cheat days or cheat meals. And the reason that I'm saying this is it takes time for your palate to readjust to getting pleasure from these whole natural plant foods, especially if you're currently dining out a lot and having food that is enhanced by oil, sugar, salt, and potentially other chemicals, depending on what processed and packaged foods you're eating. So when you're eating those foods often, and then you go and eat an apple, the joy that you're gonna get from that apple is not gonna compete with a Snickers bar, for example. It's just not. There's a reason that that Snickers bar is so delicious and it's dinging all those circuits in your brain. It's because it's a unnatural combination of sugar, fat, and salt that doesn't exist anywhere in nature. So that apple is never going to be as delicious and joyous as that Snickers bar is. And so the longer you go without those artificially stimulating foods, then your taste buds have a chance to neuroadapt to getting pleasure from those whole natural foods. And you will find that after a week or 2 weeks, a strawberry tastes extra delicious and you start to really, really enjoy these foods. And so if you have a cheat day and you go and eat a bunch of junk food, you have to kind of start that neuroadaptation process all over again. And so I encourage you to take 30 days. It's just 30 days, and I want you to look at it like an experiment. That this is just an experiment and you don't have to commit to forever. Don't put all that pressure on yourself of thinking, I need to do an A+ perfect job for the rest of my life and I'm going to, do low calorie density forever and this is it. And, then if for some reason you do overindulge, you just feel like, oh no, I have to throw in the towel, I've ruined it. Not at all. If for some reason you do overindulge, I really want you just to forgive yourself, move on and move past it and start again with your next meal, making a healthy choice. So that was my long way of saying no cheat days. All right, rule number 2 is to avoid and eliminate all oils, all processed foods that are above 700 calories per pound. So I will put a full list of what not to eat essentially. No fruit juice. However, Smoothies with fruits and veggies blended up are okay. They still contain the fiber, although blending food does slightly increase the calorie density of it. And I personally have smoothies with a handful of dark leafy greens and fruit almost daily. No crackers, chips, no bread, no nuts, seeds, nut butters, no oily sauces and dressings. That's something to really be careful with. If you're used to using certain dressings, even if they are healthy and they're a healthy brand that you like, if there's oil in them, we're not going to be using those. No protein bars, protein powders, granola bars, essentially nothing dried. When you dry a food, you concentrate the calories in that food. Anytime you're removing the water, so like no raisins, no dried cranberries, when you remove the water from the food, you are increasing the calories of that food per pound. To prove this point, I want you to Google how many calories are in a pound of grapes. Now Google how many calories are in a pound of raisins. So that's the same food, but one of them has the water removed from it. Now, the reason this is obviously that water is taking up space in your stomach. So it's filling you up even though the water doesn't have any calories in it. We're also going to be doing no pasta for this challenge. I personally, now that I have reached my ideal weight range, for the past at least 6 months, I've been having pasta with veggies at least 2 to 3 times per week. However, when I was losing weight, when I first did the 100% low calorie density way of eating, I did not have pasta. So that's what I'm recommending to you for this 30-day challenge. Focus on the wet starches like potatoes, which are only approximately 350 calories per pound, and veggies and fruit, and we will get into that. Let's keep going with our list. And whenever I say this, I tend to get a lot of messages from people asking about exceptions, saying, but Melissa, I like to put a tablespoon of tahini in my, dressing that I make for my salads. Is that okay? Now, you can choose how much you want to customize this and how true to the framework that I'm providing for you you want to follow. So I'm going to recommend not having tahini, not having any nut butters. Again, the point of this 30 days is to test this out for yourself, to see the results that you experience, to see how you feel, to see the fact that you're able to lose half a pound to a pound a week while still eating large portions of food. So I want you to experience that for yourself. And so I recommend trying a true 30-day low calorie density diet. And then after the 30 days, by all means, if you feel like some of it is just not realistic and not something that you're going to be able to keep up in the long run, then that is absolutely okay. But I recommend doing this for yourself to just see how it goes for you and how you like it. Number 3, create a simple menu plan of 3 breakfasts, 3 lunches, and 3 dinners. Now, I'm going to be providing you with that as an example. So again, you can keep this as your framework and you can get as creative with those recipes as you want to. And if you want to, spice them up with your own favorite seasonings and spices, then by all means do that. So you can either choose to use my list of 3 breakfasts, 3 lunches, and 3 dinners, as well as the snacks, or you can come up with your own. But either way, I want you to have a go-to list. So right now you might be feeling motivated and thinking, oh, I'm gonna come up with all these great recipes that are, low calorie density meals, and you feel very excited about this. But I want to prepare you in advance for what happens if for some reason you have a stressful day 3 weeks from now and you're feeling like, oh no, what do I make for dinner? And and you're not as motivated as you're feeling right now. I want to prepare you and have you have a list that you can refer back to and say, okay, those are my 3 breakfasts, 3 lunches, and 3 dinners. I'm just going to choose one of those because I know how to make that dish really quickly and I know that it fills me up. So I'm going to provide that for you. By all means, print it out, or if you want to have a little notebook that you keep throughout this challenge and you write those meals in that notebook, that at least you are prepared. I say this a lot, and it is that this society that we live in is not conducive to us living our healthiest lives. It is all about fast food and junk food and packaged food. It is not as easy for someone who doesn't want to eat packaged and processed foods. It actually takes a lot more work. And the more you prepare yourself for the times where you're not feeling as motivated, the better your odds of sticking with this long term are. And so it might seem like a lot of work at the beginning to get yourself into the flow of this, but the goal of this all is to help you set this up now so that when you're in the swing of it, it's just like you've set your weight loss on autopilot and you're not even having to put a lot of effort in. You just know, when you go to the grocery store, you know your list, you know that you've got to stock up on the starches, you've got to stock up on the big bags of frozen veggies, and I'm all about using frozen veggies, frozen bags of berries. Keep it easy for yourself. Don't feel that you need to have go to Whole Foods and spend a lot of money getting, all of these exotic, fancy ingredients. If you want to do that, then by all means you can do that. But I'm also about keeping this easy, simple for you so that you can stick with it long term. And if you are on a budget, this is a very budget-friendly way of eating, potatoes, rice, veggies, beans, fruit. We can keep this under a certain budget for you so that it's possible no matter what your grocery budget is. A couple more points I just want to say. I encourage you to get creative with your favorite flavorings, your favorite spices and seasonings to make the food as enjoyable as you can. I don't want you eating food that you find to be bland and boring and not enjoyable to eat. If you watch my What I Eat in a Day videos, you will see that I often use garlic powder and onion powder and lime juice, lemon juice, liquid smoke to give my meals a hickory flavor. I will add chili flakes, and I just get creative with lots of spices so that the food tastes delicious to me. And I encourage you to get creative, experiment with different spices to see what you really enjoy. Next, I want you to do some meal prepping to save yourself time and energy in the week. And I'm going to share some videos showing you some ideas of how you can do that, and I will also be showing you that on Instagram. Again, if you're not following me on Instagram, it's at MelissaAlexandria01, which is the same as my YouTube channel. Number 4 is become a master of your environment, eliminating temptations and ditching the junk foods. Now, this is where you have to be really honest with yourself. You can, tell yourself, oh, it's fine, I'll just keep that, those bags of chips in the cupboard, it'll be fine, I'm not going to be tempted. Maybe you're not tempted today, maybe you're not tempted tomorrow, but there may come a time where if you keep your favorite junk foods in your fridge, freezer, and pantry, you may be tempted to indulge in them. But if they're not there, then you're going to reach for the fruit. You're going to reach for something else. And so if something is a big temptation to you and only you will know what those certain foods are for you, then maybe you just need to be really honest with yourself and just say, hey, I don't want to keep those in the house. I will make some more videos going through, navigating social situations, navigating, when you live with other people and they are eating certain foods in front of you. So if you have any specific questions, you can feel free to leave those for me, and I will talk about that more in future videos. All right, so number 5 is when it comes to tracking your progress, I do not want you on the scale every single day, obsessing about, my weight went up half a pound, now it went down half a pound, what's going on? When you track your progress, I want you to do so week to week, not daily. There is no benefit to stepping on the scale every single day. Some people want to even do that like 2-3 times a day. I want you to become more focused on the process of falling in love with these healthy, whole natural plant food meals, these low calorie density meals, getting creative with them and really making this work for you and making sure that you're comfortably full on these foods. That's the process. That is something that you have control over, and That is where I want your energy to go, not on the outcome of, but I really want to fit into those jeans by, next month, or I really want to fit into that dress in 6 weeks, or I really want to get to that goal number that I have in mind. That is something that's just going to stress you out. And hyper-focusing on the outcome is going to make this a less than enjoyable process for you. I want this 30 days to be all about you getting into the flow of this way of eating, making it work for you so that you don't even have to think about the weight loss. The weight just comes off on its own in its own time. And your body will do the work of letting go of any excess body weight just because you are systematically consuming less calories because you're eating food that is less calorie dense. But I don't want you to focus on the calories. I don't want you to count the calories. I just want you to eat as much as you need to in order to be comfortably full of these foods that are under 700 calories per pound. I will make another video talking about the last 10 pounds. When you feel like you've reached a weight loss equilibrium and you're very close to your healthy weight range, you may need to make a couple little tweaks to get that last 10 pounds off if that's something that you want to do. So I will share information about that in a separate video for you. I'm going to provide you with a weekly habit tracker sheet. And there's 3 habits I want you to track every single day of the week. So for 4 weeks, you can print out 4 of these sheets, or you can just use that as an example and write all of this out in your own notebook. That's fine as well. And then I've also left quite a few blank lines so that if you have your own habits that you want to add to that, like maybe you want to start getting up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. and you have other healthy habits like how many glasses of water you'd like to drink, you can add those to this list and that might be helpful for you. So the 3 habits that I want you to track. Number 1, I want at least 2 of your daily meals to contain a wet starch. So baked potato, mashed potatoes, without oil of course, sweet potato, oatmeal, rice, millet, barley. So at least 2 of your meals. So an example could be breakfast is oatmeal with berries and sliced banana. So say your lunch is a big salad. That's healthy and that's great, but there was no wet starch in that. So dinner needs to be a chili dish with potatoes and beans, for example. So at least 2 of your meals each day need to have wet starch. So once you've done that and you've had your 2 wet starch meals that day, you can check that on your habit tracker. The next habit I want you to track, and I want you to write this at the end of your day. Ask yourself, did I eat until I was comfortably full? So meaning you're not going to bed hungry, you didn't undereat. And I know when you have that dieting mindset, you kind of feel like you did a good job if you didn't eat that much. Like, oh, I didn't finish the food on my plate. Wow, I must be close to losing weight now. Like, no, no, no. We really want to get away from that. You want to make sure that you are comfortably full after your meal times. So that's why I've put that on the habit tracker list. I want you to be aware of that and make sure that you're not under eating. The next habit is walking 10,000 steps per day. Now that is what I do for my exercise. That is what I did the entire time when I was losing weight, is 10,000 steps per day. I did not do any vigorous workouts. I didn't go to a gym. You can do those things as well, but I want you to at least commit to 10,000 steps per day. You can use a free app on your phone to track that. I don't use a watch or anything to track that. I just use my cell phone. I have a free app that's called Steps app. And when I reach 10,000 steps, it lets me know that I've hit that daily target. Food choice is number 1 when it comes to weight loss. However, not being sedentary is very important. So it's just important to move your body, get that circulation going, and walking has so many benefits. But again, these are my own guidelines that I'm sharing with you. So if for some reason you think that's not doable for me, then maybe you want to say that you're going to commit to 7,000 steps per day. Fantastic. All right, we are now at rule number 6, and this is a very important rule. Keep it simple. When people fall off track, it's usually not because of some big thing. It's the tiny little factors. It's the fact that, they didn't have the healthy ingredients they needed because they forgot to go grocery shopping on the day they were supposed to go grocery shopping. And then they ended up reaching for some other food that was in their fridge and, they fell off plan. So these little things that seem kind of insignificant, like, oh, well, it's my friend's birthday party, I'll just have one slice of pizza and a little bit of cake. And then the next day it's kind of like, well, since I've already gone off plan, I may as well just keep eating this way and then I'll start again next week or next month. As much as I would love to be able to help each and every one of you one-on-one every single day, like go in your house and say, hey, what are we gonna eat today? How are we gonna make our healthy meals? And I can't be there for every single person like that. So it's up to you. Only you know what it's gonna take to help keep you on track, to give you the best chance of success with sticking with these healthy changes. I will continue giving tips in my videos that may be helpful for you, but it really is up to you. And so I recommend keeping it simple. You might have, really good intentions and think, I'm gonna print out all of these fancy recipes that I'm gonna make. And then it just, your week happens, you get busy and you don't have time to make recipes that take an hour and, all of this cleanup afterward that's gonna take half an hour. You need something quick, you need something easy. So maybe what you can do is bake 5 sweet potatoes and keep them in airtight containers in your fridge, and bake a big batch of rice or barley, or make a big pot of soup, so that when you do get busy in the week, even though you plan to make these fancy low calorie density recipes, if you don't have time to do that, you can say, you know what? I'm just gonna eat that sweet potato and rice and warm up some frozen broccoli and have that as my dinner. At least there's something there that's ready for you, because fast food doesn't really have much for us if we're eating this way. So although I recommend making your meals at home and not going to restaurants during this 30-day time period, if you are out and you didn't bring any fruit with you, you didn't bring any food with you at all, and you need to eat something, go to Wendy's and get a plain baked potato if you have a Wendy's near you. Although I don't recommend going to restaurants at all, because you might get tempted to eat other things. You will learn this with experience, because life happens. You might get invited last minute to a birthday party and then you show up and there is nothing for you to eat. So I recommend in these instances to eat before you leave the house when possible, when you're unsure of what's going to be served somewhere. Carry bananas with you, carry apples with you, have things ready to eat, so that just something to tie you over till you get home and you can eat your meal. But again, this is a lot of information for one video. I will make more videos with more info, and if you have any specific questions or things that you'd like me to speak about, let me know. If you feel overwhelmed at any time, refer back to this video, refer to the sheets that I'm going to provide that you can print out, refer to the blog post, and also go to the hashtag low calorie density on Instagram. Look at that page and look at all the different photos of different meals that people are sharing that may give you ideas, and comment on each other's photos and just encourage one another. That can be super, super helpful. Lastly, when in doubt about what to eat, follow this very simple formula for filling low calorie density meals. 1 wet starch, 1 bean, and 1 vegetable. I mean, you can add more by all means, but so this could look something like a baked sweet potato with half a can of chickpeas and a cup and a half of frozen broccoli that you warmed up, and a drizzle of ketchup on top. Something like that, but make sure you're full. And something else that can really help is to make extra. When in doubt about how much food is gonna keep you full, make a little extra and keep it on the stovetop. So go and eat your dinner, and if an hour later you're like, oh, I'm kind of hungry again, I'm feeling like I wanna go find snacks to eat, go and have another serving of that, lentil soup that you made, or go and have another serving of that sweet potato black bean chili. I know this video is getting really long and I have so many things that I want to share with you. A couple last points. Don't rely on willpower. Willpower only lasts for so long. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Prepare for the times when you have no willpower and you're just exhausted and you have 15 minutes to eat something really quick. During the times that you're feeling motivated and you have some free time, use that time to prepare meals for yourself and put them in glass meal prep containers. And think of ways that you can make your life easier for the times when you're not having so much willpower and you're not feeling motivated. That is a way that you can really be your own coach and your own best friend and support through this. And really the goal is to put this all on autopilot. So if it feels like a lot of work now, I promise you it is not. I do not put a lot of effort and energy into my own meals because they're so automatic to me. Like I know what I like and I'm so in the flow now that I don't have to, I'm never Googling how many calories are in a pound of this. Like I know what I eat. I know, what I like and how to prepare meals that I really enjoy. And I don't measure everything and use half a cup or 1 cup. I just throw in some of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, add all my favorite spices and eat as much as I want until I'm full. It really is that easy. But it might take a little while for you to kind of get used to this way of eating, and that's totally normal. And again, I'm going to put some helpful YouTube videos that you might find informative and encouraging and that will help you along this journey. All right, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you're in and you're going to participate in this 30-day challenge, type in "I'm in" the comment section of this video. I will see you in my next video and I will see you over on Instagram.